Thank you.
This call is being recorded.
Good Monday morning, everybody. This is Tammy Nichols, and you are on our Business Builder call this morning. It is Monday, March 9th. So Monday is our training day, guys. It's the time to get re-energized, refueled. Come in to these calls every Monday morning, and then again on Monday Night Live on Monday evening at 7 p.m. Central, and just get the energy you need for the week and implement what you learn. So this morning, Nina is going to share some information with us that she really gathered at her regional event. These events are so very important, and I asked her to share this with us this morning. So Nina Anderson, without further ado, the call is all yours this morning.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. I want to talk about the power of the regional events. And the reason why it was kind of important to me was we used to do this type of a regional event years ago. And probably about 4 or 5 years ago, we stopped doing them in this fashion, meaning that having the consultants come and getting your business basics from, different leaders and having leaders train and sharing their perspectives. And we kind of got away from that. And this year, I love it with the whole theme of the 2020 vision. I feel like we're pulling it back together. And one of the things that I saw in the room was just the power and the excitement of what it did for everybody. It filled all of our cups, basically. And I know that the Grapevine event, when they started that last year, that was kind of the feeling. Everybody kind of had that mid-year place of where they needed to be and get their cup filled, because it's a long time in between, convention, a full year. So I think it does a couple of things. One, for our leaders, it totally fills our cup. But I also feel like the power of having that leader or different leaders there and training and sharing their expertise and their tips and their perspectives on how they run their businesses. I mean, basically, we all do the same thing. We book tastings, we sell wine, we recruit people, but each person has their own little personality of how they do that. And when you get your consultants to go to a regional event, they really get to see the power in that. And it creates some sort of like when we were at the top leader retreat last week, it's just that bonding and being a part of each other and seeing that we're all in this together. So I really feel like we had 38 people in the Denver regional event. And I would say, as I looked around the room, about 75% of the people were either brand new consultants, or they were newer consultants, or maybe they were consultants there that were trying to restart their business. And that is why, in my opinion, these things are so important, because that's really who these are for. When we go to convention, you look around the room, the majority of the people there are going to be a lot of new people that are trying to get information and trying to build their businesses. And so that's what we're giving them. We're giving them information that they're hungry for, information that they can take back and implement immediately into their business. But I think on the other side of it too, for the leaders that are there, they get their cup refueled, they learn new information, and they go home with new tips and tricks to implement into their own business. So it's a huge bonding moment for everybody. I think it's also super important for us as leaders, or if you're a consultant on here and you're newer and you're trying to figure out how to build and grow your business. And if you haven't made it to a regional event and it's possible to get to one, go. For us as leaders on here, you have people all across the country. Reach out to them and share the importance of them making this choice. Bottom line, what you're doing is you're investing not only in yourself, but you're investing in your business at the same time. And I think that's hugely important for all of us. So we still have 3 regional events that are coming up, and 2 of them are on the 21st of March. One's in Everett, Washington, and the other one's in York, Pennsylvania. And then on April 4th, we have the one in Des Moines, Iowa. So, for me, I have people just like all of you scattered all over the country. And so therefore, I'm reaching out to those people that are kind of close in those areas and encouraging them to go. So going back to the Denver event, we had people that drove 4 and 6 hours to come. We had people that flew in for it because they saw the importance and the value of what they would get out of it. And some of these people were brand new consultants. In fact, we had one girl that came that drove 4 hours, and she is on Rachel Thompson's team, and she met Rachel through a virtual tasting and became a consultant. She has done 12 tastings, and every single one of them is virtual. She has never seen a live tasting. So the type of training that she got at the regional event was huge, to learn how to get bookings outside, how to get bookings from her virtual tastings, include and continue that. But it's really important to her to have that face-to-face piece, because that's really a big part of our business. We are in the people business, right? So I think that that was really huge for her, and I was really glad that she made that investment in herself. But some key things that happened at the regional that I thought was big takeaways for me. Number one was the bonding. I saw people bonding with each other, people that had not met each other before, people that hadn't seen each other in a while. It's such a huge part of our business. It's so different than being in corporate America, because in corporate we go, we get paid to do a job, we go home, and it's kind of, it can be very rewarding for some people, or it can be very mundane for some people. For me, it was mundane. But this type of a business, being with Wine Shop at Home, it is all about the relationships. I mean, that's the hugest piece for me, is the relationships on top of everything else that I do. Of course, I love making money and doing the tastings and all that. But, you know, all of you on this call, at one point or another, I've been on a trip with you, I've been at convention with you, and I enjoy you, and I look forward to seeing you. And so being there together in that room, it's just really a nice, special feeling. Number two, the learning that we get from each other. So the nice thing about these regional events is there's a lot of business basics that are happening. Same things that we happen on Monday Night Live, but it's upfront, it's personal. There's tools that we walk away with. We talk about bookings, getting them outside of a tasting as well as inside a tasting. Oh, thanks, Cherry. I saw your text. I didn't see that on the when I was looking in the back office, but apparently there's a regional event in Chicago on April 26th. So thank you very much for that. But we also talked about theme bookings. Some of the people on my team, for example, in the beginning struggled with getting bookings. And then when they implemented doing themes, which is kind of right up their alley, their booking calendars exploded. So this is an opportunity to give people different ways to think about it and different ideas. I did extensive coaching on host coaching. We did testimonials, what Wine Shop at Home has done for people. I mean, these things are very powerful for people to see. And sometimes, but sometimes when we hear these things, it reminds us of why we joined. It reminds us of why we do what we do. Because sometimes we all lose sight of that too. I've been with Wine Shop at Home for over 11 years, and I tend to get into my little box, right? And sometimes I need to be pulled out of that box and have a fresh perspective, fresh ideas, fresh way of looking at things, and re-energize myself, because otherwise it gets mundane, like I said, with corporate as well. We talked about the recruiting, how to recruit gracefully, how to invite people, how to do three-way texts. And of course, we talked about the comp plan and leadership. So these are really, really good tools for all of our people to learn, especially if they're new and newer, or they're in a restart place, because who knows where somebody wants to take their business down the road. Somebody may have said, I just want to go out and do tastings, earn $500 a month, and I'm happy with that. But once they get to a regional event or convention, they see something a little bit different that piques their interest just a little bit differently. And maybe they want to take that extra step, that extra mile, to do something different, because they see the possibilities and the opportunity that there is there. And I think this is so hugely important for that 75% of the newer consultants that are coming to the regional event to see all of these things. Number three, things that you can implement right now. that was one of the biggest takeaways, is that these were things that didn't have to be implemented in 6 months. They could take it home today and start implementing things immediately. So we had, in the middle of the regional event, we had lunch. And during lunch, I was going around and asking everybody, what do you think? Are you getting information that you're needing? And are you finding value here? And everybody was like, oh my God, I'm just so excited. I'm so glad I made the investment. I'm so glad I'm here. I didn't realize I could do this. Oh, I forgot I could do that. And it was just all these aha moments that were popping up, and people were sitting at the tables with each other, and it was just buzzing because they were sitting there comparing notes and like, oh my gosh, what would you do with this? And I'm going to do this. And it was just really, really, really powerful. But they saw the beauty that they could take this information and implement it now. So it really all comes down to a choice, right, of what they want to do. And then the fourth thing is that what you should be focusing on. And I think that was very, very clear to everybody by the time they left the regional event. Okay, so if you're a new consultant, a newer consultant, or you're in that space of restarting yourself, what should you be focusing on? I think they walked away with that tool. And if you're a leader and you have people going to the regional events, or even for yourself, what should you be guiding your team to be focusing on? And it's the same exact thing for both of you. It's the most important thing we have, and it's our biggest business basic. It's bookings. And that's what everybody really needed to go home and learn, that they really needed, that if they don't have those bookings, then they don't have a business, right? And so it gave them the confidence with the tools that they learned, but I think just the reinforcement of the information that they just really have to have the bookings to get going. So we talked about things like, getting their 40 host and 4-minute list out and recreating that. I'm a big fan of throw the old list away at least every other month, or create a new list, because you have so many new people that you meet all the time through your networking, your social media, your daily life, the people that you meet at your tastings, etc. You always can add a fresh list with brand new people that you hadn't even thought about. Talked about getting your calendar together, where tastings, and be in control of your calendar. There was a lot of discussion about remember booking in close. Okay, so right now everybody should truly be focusing on the last week of March and the first 2 weeks of April. Allow those bookings that you get in that time frame to fill in the back end of April. That way you book close and you've got your calendar control, right? And you should help them get a script together. All right. The script is going to help them with what they need to say. And I am a big, big believer that that script needs to be authentic to you. I can share my script with anybody, but if it's not authentic to you, you're not going to use it. So help your people tweak a script and get it together in the words that they would use, and the way that they would present it, and help them so that they can get on the phone and feel confident that when they're asking people to book with them, that it feels really good to them. Okay, got to commit to setting that time aside to make the calls, the texts, whatever it is that you're going to do to reach out. We talked a lot about that. And if you are just started, or maybe in that restart place, follow that Rich Rewards program, right? Use that to help guide you and give you some milestones and some goals and intentions that you can set for yourself. And then we talked about going for 6 bookings, not 4 bookings, okay? Because you always need a backup plan. You never know who might need to reschedule due to an illness or what have you. And so let's just be proactive and have 6 instead of 4. And I just call that the backup plan, basically. But bottom line, all of this, every single thing that I just mentioned, comes down to mindset. If you want it, you have to go for it. And you have to make that choice. And you're going to take some chances, right? You're going to dip your toes out and get into the uncomfortable, but that's okay, because when you get in uncomfortable, you learn and grow, right? And you can make some changes in your business immediately. So Tammy, those were my takeaways from the regional.
I love that, Nina. And guys, I want to say this. We added 150 new team members to our team last month. That means we changed 152 lives. So we're able to do so much in this business. And when we get re-energized from the regional event and pick up a few tips, it helps us to change lives. And that's what this business is all about. This business is all about helping others create a lifestyle that many only dream about. And that is the beauty of this. So, Nina, are there any questions for you? I'm on the phone. I'm not on the computer. So, can you see any specific questions for you?
No, there's no questions.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. And, again, as Nina said, we want to stick to the basics, guys. Keep it simple. We book wine tastings and we recruit. And when we teach others to do that, we're all able to continue to grow and flourish. So tonight on our Monday Night Live call, we have Russ Donaldson, who is going to be talking to us about our new releases. Of course, this is our most popular Monday Night Live call every month because people want to hear some good tips about the new releases. So it's at 7 p.m. Central. Dial back in. You've got the number on the email. So dial back into that number, and we will see your smiling faces there. Have a great Monday, everybody. Make things happen in your business. Thanks again, Nina, and we'll see you tonight on Monday Night Live. Bye-bye.
Bye.